Well, welcome to the Growth Lab. This is the podcast dedicated to the business of beauty and vitality. Today, we're sitting down with Ardis Schmitt, which is the owner of Revive Medical Spa, a med spa in Farmington Hills, Michigan. It's an amazing practice that features many unique services. It's absolutely incredible. Let's find out more. This episode is brought to you by Med Spa Accelerator. We help med spas and weight loss clinics solve the bottleneck of inconsistent, unqualified patient leads to achieve a predictable, scalable monthly revenue without staff burnout. Today, we are thrilled to have artists to join us to discuss the future of aesthetics and these unique treatments. Let's get started. Good morning, artists. How are you?
I'm great, Jason. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm really excited to get you on the show and dive into your story. I really like to frame these conversations simply past, present, and future. So what we're going to do is start with your origin story, how you got into this demanding, rewarding industry, and then we're going to pivot to your present reality, which is what's working and also what's causing the friction and what systems are keeping those doors open. And then finally, we want to look at the future outlook, which is the next 3 to 5 years and your biggest strategic moves that you're planning. And that way we'll cover a full spectrum round trip of building a successful clinic. Does that sound like a good roadmap?
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. All right. Well, then I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I'm really excited to take a look at everything that you have available here for the clinic. I was looking at the website and you offer lifestyle enhancing treatments such as clinical grade facials, painless laser hair removal, injectable fillers, PRP injections, dermabrasion, even hair loss solutions. You have quite a lot of products and services that are there. Which ones are the most popular?
Well, we do offer a variety of services. And I actually read maybe 4 or 5 years ago the Pumpkin Plan, which I go through and evaluate every year the services we do offer and determine which ones are profitable and popular and which ones are what I call purple squirrels, which are services that we only do maybe a few times a year and aren't really of great interest at that moment to our clients. And I weed out the weeds from the pumpkin patch and grow the big pumpkins larger, water them, and more marketing, more promotion to ensure they are thriving. Some of my most popular are Botox is number one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that's followed closely by radiofrequency microneedling and something called Cool Peel that we do in conjunction with that. That would be number two.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's pretty interesting. Now, I think on our last conversation, we also spoke about weight loss as well, right? And you used to do that. Is that correct?
So we did offer weight management. That is correct. We now still offer fat reduction with the Cool Sculpting Elite, which is popular seasonally, interestingly enough, from January to June, people getting ready for the summertime.
Makes
However,
sense.
the GLP-1s, the Ozempic type drugs, have been regulated further by the FDA, as well as Big Pharma is trying to get them out of med spas. So that became a bit of a challenge, and I decided to step out of that rather than have a hassle over it.
Yeah.
So I no longer offer that.
Okay, well, and that's a very interesting choice because I think a lot of the clinic owners and the med spa owners that are currently offering it are is just wondering why leave so much money on the table, right? Because this is all about a learning experience, how we can all learn from each other, right? And I understand, like, of course, I work in the industry, so I understand there's pressure from the FDA, but as long as you're using a supplier that's using FDA regulated and staying far away from the research grade meds, I think that's a really important point. There's been a big crackdown by the FDA on research grade medications, but everybody that's being legit and staying with the FDA regulated, they're pretty much staying away from them.
So it's less about the FDA approval part of it. It's more about the process now to be able to provide those drugs. You need a physician on site to do evaluation before they're prescribed. You need to have specific prescriptions per patient. It needs to be administered in office. And there's been a very large push by some of the, I'm not going to mention names, but some of the drug companies to go in and inspect and issue citations to medical spas specifically. Some of them have been taken to court and been sued for their provision of the GLP. For me, I do say, the biggest risk is taking no risk. But for me, I'm also very
Yeah.
conservative. And if it's something that's going to distract me from my business to the point that I have to worry about is someone coming in my door to investigate me. And I've had several people locally that have had this happen recently. I'm just not into it.
Yeah, no, that's understandable, artists. That's definitely understandable. Yeah, I guess we don't have to name them, but we both know who we're talking about, right? And that it's a fear campaign, right? It's a pressure campaign. Some fold under that fear and that pressure, and some continue to push forward. And it's really just kind of has to do with your tenacity and kind of removing that the problem from your mind. You want to focus on aesthetics and you want to focus on other things. And I totally understand that and appreciate that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next subject then. You offer a whole bunch of other things like lasers. Are you using the Morpheus 8?
So we have radio frequency microneedling, which is what Morpheus 8 provides.
Okay.
We have two devices. We have one called the Vivace, one called the Virtue. They both provide microneedling. These are bipolar. Morpheus 8 is unipolar. And the issue that's been identified with specifically Morpheus 8 is the depth can go very deep on shooting radio frequency into the skin, and it goes well beyond the dermal layer, which is where you want to be, into the fat layer. And there's been a lot of concern about the aggressive treatments that people are performing with Morpheus 8 that are
Okay.
dissolving the fat in the face, which is something you want to keep as long as you can.
Mm,
So we use Virtue and Vivace. We have both of those, and we go just to the dermal layer depth. Now, they could adjust it to the dermal layer, but I think many providers have made the mistake of thinking more is better, more aggressive is better, and it's just not in this case. Being precise and going to the right layer is most important to lift, tighten, reduce fine lines, shrink your pore, produce collagen. It gets produced there. It doesn't get produced in the fat layer where they're shooting. What happens is they dissolve and they deflate the face. Fat doesn't come back. You can't make new fat cells. Fat cells, once they die, are gone away forever. Now, the fat cells you have left could get larger if you ate a lot and gained more weight. They could increase in size, but you don't get more fat cells. You have a finite number in your body, and once you've killed them, they're not coming back.
oh, that's
Which
good.
is why cool sculpting is great for, it's called
Yeah.
cryolipolysis to
Yeah.
reduce
Tell me
fat.
a little bit about that machine. I really don't know a lot about the cool sculpting, but is it a same day?
Yeah, so yes, you can treat multiple areas in the same day. It's really meant to target the difficult areas of fat that, oh, I've dieted, I've exercised, and I just can't get this pooch in my belly away, or my love handles, or my back fat. It just won't go away. So it's targets those areas. It typically takes two treatments. It
Okay.
does freeze those fat cells, and once they're frozen, they basically explode, and your macrophages and your lymphatic system take them out of your body. Once they're gone forever. The old cool sculpting, the legacy system, you used to do, they'd say 25% reduction. However, the cool sculpting elite, when done, I mean, it's more like 50% of that area has reduced fat. It's a really incredible transformation.
Really? Okay.
And
Wow.
again, it won't come back. So that's the best part, I think.
Wow, that is pretty interesting. I had no idea that it was like that. That's pretty amazing. Now, I want to talk about your origin story. We almost skipped over on it. You started Revive Med Spa in May 2017. So that was almost what, 9 years ago, right now? We're getting pretty close to that 9 year mark. So you've been doing this for quite a while now. So tell me a little bit about like how why you started this, and you're pretty senior in it right by now.
So, a quick interesting story, I think, is I started out in business when I was young in my 20s. And then in my late 20s, early 30s, I decided I wanted to pursue something I always had a interest in, which was medicine. And I went through and got my Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree. And then I wound up, interestingly enough, after practicing a while, into technology for medicine and implemented the first electronic medical record with the Cerner Corporation at our
Mhm.
Detroit Medical Center, a very large system. Then I ended up going into project management. A company acquired our IT department that was purely technical, and we went along with it. So I saw an opportunity to move out of healthcare and I went into banking, and I ended my career there as the director of treasury technology for GE Capital worldwide. They wound that down around 2008, 2009, when after the housing crisis, and gave me a big package and an offer to go get any education I wanted. So I decided, well, my real passion is medicine, and always been interested in it. And I love aesthetics. So I said, let me go to National Laser Institute. I went there for 60 hours of training, learned how to run a med spa, learned how to deliver the specific aesthetic procedures. And I decided I'd just open my own spa, and that was 2017.
Okay. Wow, what a great stepping stone.
So I have great project management skills. I have great education and leadership. I have really solid financial business skills. And I'm also very well versed in aesthetics. So it's kind of a match made in heaven. And I love it every day, all of it.
That's amazing. And so you still got passion for it, obviously, even after almost nearly 10 years.
So currently, as you said, we're in year 9, and we'll have our 10th anniversary next year. I was just thinking last night that we'll need to do a nice big event for that,
Absolutely.
invite our 2,000 customer base into the med spa. I'm sure hopefully they won't all come. It's big, but it's not that big.
Okay.
We have 4,200 square feet. We have 14 treatment rooms. And
Wow. Okay.
yeah. And we started out with the idea that we would grow, and so we have all the rooms are full now, and we're a busy practice.
Let's pivot to present reality. What is working right now at the clinic at Revive Med Spa? What's the main thing that's working for you, providing everything that's the most revenue. Let's talk about revenue generating. The biggest revenue generators for you, that's keeping the lights on, that's keeping the doors open.
So our foundation is Botox, and we found ways to advertise. It's very tricky. I'll just say that you have to work with your drug company, I think, to really get all the approvals needed to actually advertise a brand, right?
Are you legit script certified?
Yes. And
I bet that was hard to get, right?
about 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
takes a while.
we can advertise Botox Cosmetic online. And I found that of all the things I've ever advertised to be the one that absolutely brings in new clients every week. So we do a big business in Botox.
I want to ask you, do you think that the implementation of being legit script certified to be able to say the word in your advertisements, Botox, was instrumental and continues to be instrumental in your success?
Absolutely. Hands
Okay.
down. Yeah, it's a tough process to go through, but I was pretty clear at the time that this is something that needed to happen because I knew that before they started this, my Botox ads were bringing in new clients every week. And then they started this, and I was no longer able to advertise Botox Cosmetic, and it dropped immensely. So we went after it hard, and we're able to get it back, and it makes a big difference. And like I said, some days I'm seeing 3 new clients just from the Botox ad.
Now let's talk about that because I think that can also help other med spa owners as well. You mentioned it was a 6 month process to get certified on it. What was your total cost to get that certification?
So for me, fortunately, I already had a a person from Allergan who was my coach, I'll call her. And we pay for her every year to come in. And they have a name and it escapes me now, but they're basically a coach to help you grow your business. And she was able to have me work with their person who does all the social and get the Facebook ads approved. And so it didn't really cost me anything but time to get it done.
Well,
Yeah.
usually there's a cost to be legit script certified to be able to say that. So it's usually ranges anywhere from about five to $10,000.
Not when I did it. There was no cost to it.
All right. Maybe you were grandfathered in. Interesting. Okay. So that's what's working right now. So that's going to be on the Botox side. What's not working? What's giving you some that you're having trouble with right now?
So, well, as I said, we went through and go through once a year and look at what is working and what's not working. If there's anything that's not working well and giving us a nice revenue stream, we shut it down. So, and focus on those things that are highly profitable and highly utilized. So I don't feel like there's something that isn't working. I'm just trying to think. I feel pretty comfortable with where we are. One of the things I could talk about in the past was, and something a lot of med spa owners struggle with,
Okay.
is the idea that they have the front desk person, depending on how large they are, and there's a lot of turnover in that. There's a lot of front desk resources that jump from your job to hostessing at a restaurant to being in a beauty salon to for $1 an hour, right? So
Hmm.
you spend a lot of time. There's a lot of information they need to be trained to get to a level where they're efficient. They're able to book in the clients. They're able to discuss the procedures, answer the questions. And then there's the whole process of checking in, checking out, collecting the funds, all those things, right? So there's a lot of turnover there. And I found that in my first maybe 3 or 4 years, very frustrating because we just kept having to get a new desk person and then they all had to be trained. It's a lot of drag on us, the providers. So what I did, I changed my model. I use a remote front desk now to answer all the questions.
Yes. Yes. I
They
wanted to speak about this. I wanted to save it for a little bit later, but you have a name for her, and this is your AI receptionist that you're talking about, right, artist?
Well, we have a physical front desk that's located remotely, who during our business hours and a few hours before and after that answer all of our calls, get clients booked on their schedule. We'll pass through anybody that they couldn't answer information about a procedure on to me, but primarily our phone never rings in the spa because of it. Then after hours, weekends, holidays, before and after, at 9 o'clock at night when somebody decides they want to get a facial, we have a new remote AI. We call her Kelly. And Kelly picks up the phone and answers all the questions. She is extremely impressive. I think more so than any human in terms of
Wow.
I'm extremely impressed with Kelly. I almost feel like, well, maybe we could just do away with the front desk and have Kelly do everything soon.
Okay, well, we wanna know more. Tell us more, artist. We wanna know more about Kelly. Tell us, like, so she answers the phone after hours, right? But is she able to answer medical questions, or does she
Yes.
just book them on the calendar? Like, what does she do?
So the downside of Kelly is our system doesn't have an open, what's called an API way for Kelly to get in and book. So the best she can do after hours is she will send them a link to our booking uh, calendar, and the client can go in and book.
Okay.
That's not the best situation, but that's as good as we can get with our technology that we have. However,
Okay.
she's able to absolutely. I don't know, like, I think they comb the entire universe for, every question that might get asked. How long does it take? What's the recovery time? Oh, she's cheerful, she's happy, she's excited. You should call her. She's amazing.
Is this voice based or is it text based?
Voice. Yeah, it's amazing to call
Now
Kelly.
tell us a little bit more about the implementation of that. Was it hard to implement or was it easy to implement?
Because I already had scripts with the front desk that I was using, and they were the ones that invented this AI Kelly. They called her Alice, but I didn't like Alice, so we call her Kelly. But they created this, and because they had all of our background information, they had our website. She'll comb your website. She'll comb all the scripts that we have. She'll go through the web and find out specific details about a procedure and explain it. She's just a huge amount of knowledge. And then she'll ask to, hey, can I send you a link to our app and you can learn more? Hey, can
Oh,
I
yeah,
send you
because
a
you
link
have
to
an
book?
app, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah, I
that's
wanted
another
to
great thing
dive
we can
into
talk
that.
about.
Tell me a little bit more about that app, and then they can book from the app, right?
They can book from the app. They can also ask questions because there's an AI in the app that will answer questions about the treatments they want to know. Maybe that they forgot to ask Kelly.
Okay.
But Kelly will send a link either to that or directly to booking, right? They say, oh, I want to book my Botox appointment. Okay, great. You've come to the right place. Artist, so happy to see you again. La, la, la. Then she's like, let me send you a link and you can look at her schedule and book. So that's how Kelly works. The app,
That's
if she
amazing.
sends you, yeah, if she sends you to the app has many of our products. It has also skincare products, and there's a whole set of elastin and Skin Medica products that will drop ship to them. We don't have to touch it. They can purchase them right in the app and it'll free shipping to their door. And so that's a new pathway for us. For one of our big goals this year is to sell more skincare. And we're doing it through YouTube videos as well as the app. It's called Skin Drop.
Yeah, I think we've talked about on the last call as well. Your kind of your strategy, your overarching strategy is to get YouTube viewers that are coming in there interested in the services and pushing them to the app, right? Or to the yeah, and then from there, obviously you've already got the audience, right? And then from the audience, then they can book appointment if they want.
Yep, and the app is, like, almost worldwide because anybody in well, let's say anybody in Florida can buy the skincare from the app. They receive a discount for purchasing in the app, and it gets shipped directly to their door. This is something we didn't have before because it's very hard to set up the whole supply chain for
Yeah, I
shipping
bet.
and everything for skincare, but that's been taken off our plate by the app that we use. They developed this, and I just say all Skin Medical products, all Elastin products, and even if there's a product I don't carry that I want to offer, Obagi products, I can just put them in and they can shop right on the app and it goes to their door. Over $100, which is not hard to spend in skincare, is free shipping. So it's
I was
really
gonna say, who's doing this fulfillment for you? Is that shipping from your Farmington Hills location then, or where's that coming from?
actually coming from the manufacturers of the skincare. They already out almost. So one of the challenges with skincare is they're all out on Amazon. They're all many in Costco, other places. So it's very and there's some large skincare sales organizations out there. So the skincare companies already have this set up because they do direct to consumer sales as well. And so it's just the pass through of information, the transfer of money, and my app developer does all that. So I basically just put it up there and let it ride and promote it so that people are going in and purchasing.
Well, that's amazing. I don't think any other med spa owners has that
Not yet.
strategy. They don't have that strategy, not at least none of the ones that I've interviewed yet, so that's pretty awesome. I wanna get to your goals, because we kinda gotta move this along. We're at the 30-minute mark right around now, so what are your goals for the 2026?
So the biggest goal I have is to increase our skincare sales. That's the biggest
Okay,
goal
you
this
wanna
year.
increase more
Yeah, because
increase.
that's really one of those soft spots that most med spas don't do. It's hard. It's hard to sell the medical grade skincare in the spa. You want to be at 15-20%. And a lot of people will achieve that by bundling the skincare into the procedure and basically giving it to them.
Yeah,
It's not my goal. My goal here is to above and
separate.
beyond that to promote real skincare sales. So, I decided, oh, bless you. We decided
Thank you.
through, yes, through this offering with our app to start to promote it that way. And, there's a very prominent physician. His name's Rajani. Now, he basically said, well, it took me 7 years to get everything lined up to sell skincare, to make the skincare, to private label it, to be able to sell it online and da da da, right? All the things he had to do. And he said, and you're 7 years ahead because you're doing it
Yeah.
this way.
I wanna ask you a question, and, what was her name again? It's harkening back to what we were talking about before, the AI receptionist. Her name was Susan?
Kelly.
Kelly, sorry, thank you, Kelly.
Sorry.
Is because I wanna ask this question, but I don't know if Kelly is the answer to it or not, but I think you're gonna tell me. How do you ensure that every single lead from initial inquiry to booked consult is followed up on consistently, and what percentage of leads do you feel are slipping through the cracks?
So that's another thing we're focusing on. I would say in the past, we were lax in, calls that never got leads that didn't get followed up. So our physical front desk that I contract is now Kelly makes a note and texts and sends an email for every single person who's called. Every single person gets into a pool. So we've got her information.
But then you gotta follow up on that, right? You literally gotta call them.
So my front desk is now going back. They're pulling reports from my lapsed Botox clients, calling them up, doing outreach now. We've got a whole process in place we just put in January. And, honestly, I've gotten 4 bookings just in the last 2 weeks from them calling people that, hey, we see you haven't gotten your Botox in over 6 months and you have some alley points to use. Can we get you booked on the schedule? Just like that. They book them up. So that's the
Excellent.
other, yeah, that's the other push this year is to get after deeper, I would say, those leads and those lapsed clients and bring them back in.
Now, does that have anything to do with your retention program that you have?
So that those people don't lapse. We have a membership program for
Tell
Botox
us about it.
and yeah, for Botox and facials. And that membership program is actually in our app as well.
Okay.
And they sign up for it. They pay a price every month to be a member, and that reduces their cost at the visit for Botox or gives them a free facial. And there's some other benefits they get. And so those members, I mean, that is retention, right? Yeah, I usually cap that particular one for Botox at about 100 members, and they never leave. And if they do leave, I've raised the price of the membership to rejoin, so they're not letting go.
Okay. Okay. Great. Wow, that's fantastic.
And it's a value. They actually save money at each of their visits, so they're happy.
I think a lot of our audience wants to know what's the name of this app. They wanna we need to take a look at this. Come on, so plug away.
So the name of the app is Repeat MD. They developed it, I think, about 3 years ago. I was probably one of the first people to get on it. When I first got it, I really didn't use it enough. They did have the membership program, and it was basically all I was using it for. They built 2.0 last October, and that exploded everything for us. They built the skincare drop, they built other offerings, a way to put in all the services, a way to promote, a text feature to promote out to whoever's in your signed up in your app, either
Okay.
active or inactive, you know. once a month, I'll send out a blast about what we're promoting with a link into the app where they can purchase. It's really a very easy way to promote. And now they have a lot of, they're great with support, and they have a lot of people who will help you build promotions, and you just tell them what you want and they make beautiful artwork and off you go and they promote it. You can set dates. I mean, it just really has taken off to a point that, I went from maybe the first year I went from $20,000 for the year to maybe last year $100,000 for the year in
In
sales through that.
skincare sales?
Well, skincare, they do gift cards. Gift cards were huge this year through the app. Yeah. So
Great.
it's really, and people were frustrated in the beginning with this app. A lot of people said it's a lot of
Until
money.
2.0.
It's a lot of money for little reward, blah, blah, blah. I'm not getting, but the thing is consistency on your part. You have to be willing to sign nobody gets a choice in my practice. Everybody gets signed up for the app and everybody gets signed up for Ally rewards, regardless of why they're there. It's part of our check-in process. They also get photographs. Those, there's a list of things they're going to do on their first consult. And then we're going to make sure that app is loaded right on their home screen so they can just click it anytime. So that's, the beginning point of getting them engaged in that way. And if you don't take the time to do that, then you're literally not going to get the juice from the app. They also have a QR code. Every room has it where they scan a check-in. Every time they check in, it builds towards rewards that they get. It might be
Oh,
red light therapy with the facial. It might be any number of things, actually. We have a list of things that are rewards that they can achieve. So now people just come in. They don't even ask. They're scanning before we see them to make
I
sure
didn't know
they're
you had the red light therapy, artist.
red light therapy, blue light therapy. Actually, the device we have it's a dome and it's for any part of the body. There's also
Tell us the
purple.
name of it. Who's the manufacturer?
The manufacturer of this one is going to escape me right now. I got it about 3 years ago at an event, and they actually treated my arm for joint pain with the handheld one.
Oh, yeah?
It
And it
was
worked.
called Red, actually, is the name of the device. The company is
Okay.
out of New York. The name of the company escapes me now.
That's okay.
But she put it on for about 5 minutes on my shoulder that was hurting, and it'd been hurting for about 6 months, and the pain was gone. I'm like, okay, this works. I'm in. Not only the handheld red light, I bought two of those. I bought two blue light for P. acnes bacteria. And then I bought the dome, which is the one that you see with hydrofacial and other devices. And it's very effective.
Now you bought those, you said 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, have they already paid for themselves by now? Oh my goodness, okay, wow, okay, great,
And
fantastic, so
it's
they're
also a
very
great
effective.
thing. Yeah, it's also a great add-on. Let's say we're going to do Diamond Glow facial and we do the gel mask that allows the light through.
Yeah,
And then they have a reward of red light therapy. And so we give them that reward for their continued use of our app to reward them for that treatment. And so, they get points every time they come. And red light therapy is a great one because it's paid for. It doesn't cost me anything, just a little bit of time to offer to clients to be able to give them a perk, a benefit for their continued loyalty. And Repeat MD is what it says, Repeat MD. It's all about loyalty.
okay, sounds good. Make sure to take a look at the link in the description for that app. We'll have it linked below after this episode is published. What is your philosophy on delegating core business functions, like, for example, lead generation or appointment management versus keeping them in-house?
So appointment management is already delegated to the front desk, and that's been great.
And lead generation?
Lead generation is something that we're leaning into pretty hard right now. And the front desk is going through, we have for people who are leads in our app and in our Aesthetics Pro that we use as our EMR, they're working those as well as leads through Kelly as well as the lapse clients through the Ally app from Allergan. So we kind of have it pretty well covered. And
So you keep it in-house. You're keeping a lead
well,
generation in-house.
it's not in-house really because the front desk has access, and this is the remote front desk that does all our phones. They're going out and outreaching to all these leads to get them booked.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Like
so
cold people that haven't talked to you before, right?
correct.
Okay.
And they have scripts. They know all of our services. They have access to our system to book. They're able even so one of the things we do I implemented about 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years ago maybe, was I finally bit the bullet and said, new clients who we haven't seen before are going to leave a $50 consultation fee with a credit card before they come see me. If
I
they
was
come in,
just gonna ask you that, artist. Is your consultations free or do you charge for them to make sure that they show up?
yes, exactly. So I think I believed, and people do believe that about this magical thing of all these people got booked on your calendar and they're just going to show up and they're consults, right? And half the time they don't show up and you've lost that space to someone who's going to generate revenue for you.
Yeah.
So, serious people who actually want to get a consultation or want to get a treatment, we tell them you pay your $50 at the day of your visit. If you decide to move forward and purchase, that $50 applied to that service. And also, you can use it to buy skincare that day. If
Seems
you
fair to
decide,
me.
yeah, it is fair. And everybody shows up, or they call a couple days ahead of time and say, I'm in the hospital. Can I move it? And of course, we let them. We're flexible that way.
So you're not getting any leak at all since implementing that policy.
Correct.
Med spa owners take notes. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
And if they come in and they decide not to do anything, I let them know then and there, okay, well, so today you put $50 down for the consultation fee, so that's paid for. And since we're not moving forward, it will not apply to future treatments. Mostly everybody who puts that $50, that's so important to them that they're going to buy something when they're there. They're going to move forward with their treatment because in their mind they're thinking, well, if I don't, it's a decision point for them. I'll lose that
Yeah.
$50. So it
Yeah.
really helps the conversion, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Clearly. Now, I wonder if that approach would also apply to a telemedicine practice and it would be applicable to holding an
Absolutely.
appointment for that. You think so?
Absolutely.
Food for thought.
People are
Absolutely.
gonna show up. You don't think $50 is a lot? I'm telling you to every single person, it's like they gave me $5,000. They're not gonna lose that. They're gonna show up, they're gonna reschedule if they have to, but they're coming. And I would say 95% of them convert to a sale just because they want to apply that money that day.
Okay.
Now, there's
Wow.
people who call and we tell, this is we go through and talk about everything and the last thing is we need a credit card, blah blah blah, and explain it to them. And there's people who say, I'm going to think about it or I'll call back. And they're not interested. I promise you, those people were never going to come. So,
Never in the first place. So it just
no.
weeds out the time wasters.
Time wasters, people who aren't serious, people who are happy. And I'll tell you the tipping point for me was when I called somebody back to confirm their appointment. She said, well, I have 5 appointments scheduled right now for this around town. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go to. I'll let you know. And I thought, that happens? Okay, we're going to change that.
That's amazing. Yeah, that is really great. Where do you see Revive Med Spa in the next 3 to 5 years? What do you see? Do you want to franchise out? Do you want to continue to get more skincare sales on the app? What do you see in the next 3 to 5 years? Tell us, artists.
So I don't want to franchise. My concern with franchise is you literally have no control over the quality of what's being provided. And that's my name. That's my business name. I don't see having trained many new injectors. I don't see franchising out my business now. I do see growing my business. I'm going to continue to grow skincare as well as adding more providers, calendar hours to book. And then really, I mean, I'm in it for the next 10 years at least, 'cause my
What
husband is not
yeah,
retiring for 10 years. So,
okay.
just really continue to grow. We're in a really fortunate place. We had purchased about $600,000 worth of medical devices, and they're all paid off, but the cool sculpting, that'll be paid off in a year. So just continue to
Wow.
revenue and offer great services. We love our clients love us. We love seeing them, every month, some of them every quarter for their Botox, and they're just basically friends at this point. And so I expect to continue for quite some time and enjoy it.
I bet that 10-year anniversary is gonna be really special.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw a big bash for that one.
So amazing. Well, the website is revivema.com. That's gonna be the website for Revive Med Spa, and we'll also, if it's possible, to put a link. I'm sure, the app is available in the Play Store and also on the App Store and on both devices, right?
I'll give you a link.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll put that in the description down below. And I want to thank you so much for covering everything. It's such a fantastic breakdown, artist. Thank you for being so candid about your operational reality. I know on this show today, we've covered a ton of ground from your origin story to the future of aesthetic medicine, from weight loss to skincare. And I know that our audience is going to get immense value from this, especially the point of solving a lot of your front desk issues with that AI receptionist as well. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the recorded portion of the Growth Lab.